So we have elections next month, and regarding elections, we are always looking for new members. So you have to be a member of your RNO to be on the board, but we're looking for new board members, and we would appreciate, input from everybody, across the city. So we would like that. And before I go on and before I forget anything, I just want to tell people again that Spanish and English, and there's a note in, can we have our Spanish interpreter? Can you go ahead and say something? Just so that they know what they need to do, because I'm not translating it. So I'd rather have you do it. Oh, we can't hear you on this channel though. Can we do that somehow?
Okay, this is Barbara Rosner. I'm the Spanish interpreter. Oh, okay.
All right. Well, we do have Spanish. Look in the chat for that if you're looking for Espanol, but we will keep going. All right. All right. So let me just say again, I'm going back to elections. So next month we do elections every year in March. The term for positions on the board is 2 years. So if you agree to run for a board position, you have to commit for 2 years. I'm up for, renewal as president of INC. Secretary is also up, and we need at-large members. Next year will be, it alternates. So next year we will have treasurer and we will have vice president. Okay. So if anybody, and we will also take nominations from the floor today. If anybody, raise your hand, put your virtual hand up, and we will put your name in, or if you want to nominate someone, let us know. But we are looking for board members. Again, if you want to be on the INC board, you have to be a member, a delegate member from your RNO. Your RNO has to be current in their dues. And so that would be helpful. And Trupti could always check on that. And then we are always looking for input. We meet on, the executive committee meets along with the committee chairs the second Monday of the month. At times last year we met, but sometimes if we have pressing issues, we will have a meeting in December, but typically we take a break just as INC as a whole takes a break. So we plan out these meetings, we, work on issues, that sort of thing. So that's part of the commitment. The commitment also could be, coming up with agenda items, working on, working with, things like the awards, which right now are kind of not in flux just because we've been virtual and we don't have an actual committee. So basically we are looking for new members of the board. So if you haven't been on the board, if you'd like to be on the board, go ahead, Maggie.
Well, I was on the nominating committee, and we have received 2 people who have nominated, who have expressed interest. One is Adam Meltzer from Wash Park East, and the other is Lamone Knoll from, she's been part of so many RNOs, but she is also a delegate interested in running. So as you said before, we are taking nominations from the floor. We won't be able to take nominations from the floor at our March meeting. Our bylaws have changed.
Yeah. And I did want to offer the time after, just kind of talking about it a little. If Lamone, I know you're here. If you would like to chat a minute and kind of introduce yourself, if for those who don't know you, if you'd like to take a minute. Hi, Lamone. I think she's coming on. I think you are, Lamone. Hi. I think you're still muted somehow. At least we weren't hearing you. Do you have a microphone? Ah, that might be it. I heard a click.
Yours?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Well, I can hear her. I heard you, Emmett, but I don't hear Lamone yet.
Maybe it's the interpretation.
Oh, I don't know. Emmett, do you want to introduce Lamone?
Yes, I'd like to introduce Lamone Knowles. She's been in the neighborhood for doing activism work for years. I met her through the OFA, Organizing for Action. She's mentored me for a number of years, worked on a number of different projects together, and I think she's a strong candidate for board member. Can you say anything now, Lamone?
We still can't hear you, Lamone. I don't know what it is.
Have you clicked the English button down on?
It's the little world icon, and if you hit it, then choose English.
Yeah, it says interpretation at the bottom of, if you're on a computer. And while we're trying to get her on, I'm trying to find Adam. Adam, are you here? Is Adam here?
He is not.
Okay, does anybody know Adam? And do you know what neighborhood he's from or anything?
Washington Park East.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I did hear that. Okay. So, so again, like we said, we would need nominations from the floor. I mean, if you want to nominate yourself, that's fine. We would appreciate that. And we would take, you know, someone else nominating another person, and they could accept or decline. But if there's anyone else, we will take nominations from the floor right now. Think about it. If you'd like to be on the board, it would be great, and be more active in INC. And I don't see anything. You could raise your hand or, you know, just unmute if you would like to nominate someone. Additionally, for secretary, you know, Emmett is our secretary. Maggie, go ahead.
I was just going to enter in that we will be sending out bios of everyone who's running during this month so that people can get an idea of who is running and the experiences that they have had.
Perfect. All right. All right. So, you know, we have a couple minutes, but I don't know that there's anything else. And I don't see any nominations from the floor. We would still take it throughout the meeting today, but we will go ahead and move on, and or you can put it in the chat to myself if you want to nominate someone and think about it, or nominate yourself. But we would need it today at this meeting. So I am going to hand it over now to Taylor to start, you know, the presentation for today. And so why don't you go ahead, and I'll have you go ahead, you know, and introduce your panel.
Sure. Well, I'll just take a minute just to remind everyone, we do have this presentation in English and Spanish today. So if you haven't already, down at the bottom of your screen, there is a little globe looking icon, and you can choose either English or Spanish. Please do choose one, don't leave it off, or you might miss some folks talking. So we've got Irlanda and Barbara helping us out today for translation and interpretation services. With that, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Jane Potts to introduce the panel group.
Hi, Taylor. Thank you. And thank you to these people who are here on a Saturday morning to help us understand the city and the climate fund. We're just also lucky that voters agreed to this sales tax a couple of years ago to make all of this possible. I think Denver is going to be a real forefront for everybody in how we address issues with climate. And we've got a little bit of money to help make all of that possible. I'm the co-chair of the Climate and Sustainability Committee for INC. My co-chair is Perry Burnap. She's not here this morning because she is with her dear friend who lost her husband this week. And so we send our condolences and love to her and her friend. Keith Meyer, who's another member of our committee, is going to be helping me with this, and I'll turn it over to him in a couple of minutes. Our committee is now going to be hosting a monthly meeting like the other INC committees are doing and have been doing for a long time. We've gotten off to sort of a slow start with COVID and a number of different things, but we'll be hosting a monthly meeting on the fourth Thursday from 7 to 8:30. That's a bit debatable. We might move it to 6:30, but we haven't decided for sure yet. So mark your calendar for the fourth Thursday of the month. And the first one on February 24th is going to be sort of an introduction to all the people who are currently involved in their RNO and have a climate committee or some kind of sustainability committee, sort of find out who's already doing this and what they're doing and get a little bit of acquainted with each other and sort of set an agenda for what is going to be coming up. And we're going to be doing this every month. We're hoping that we can get back to face-to-face meetings and maybe do some tours or some hands-on programs or whatever. So like I said, mark your calendar for the fourth Thursday of the month, the first one on February 24th. And perhaps we'll be talking about the bill that just passed through the state legislature on pollinators. So I think that's all that I have right now. So I'm going to introduce Keith Meyer, who's also on our committee and is going to be helping me this morning monitor questions that are in the chat and keeping time. Keith?
Thanks, Jane. And good morning to everybody. I'm with the Northside Sustainability Alliance up here in the northwest corner of Denver. We're a group of folks from about 14 RNOs that are focused on sustainability issues up here in the northwest side of Denver. There's going to be a discussion at the end of today's presentation also about waste, Denver possibly switching waste services into a new model. And we just want to make sure folks stay on and tune in for that. That's going to be a little later in the presentation. And we're also going to send out, during that, we're going to send out a short poll that our committees come up with just to try to get some opinions from folks on the new waste services model. And we're going to be sending this out afterwards as well. So look forward to a great discussion today. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat and we'll make sure we get those to the city.
All right, great, thank you. There was so many interesting questions and conversations in the chat, and we will look forward to hearing back answers to those questions that weren't answered today, because I know there were a few. Some of them I know you might say, it's not in our purview because it may be outside of our, of what we do, but if you can refer us to somebody else in the city, that will be helpful also. That's great. Links are also helpful. And I think the other thing that's great is we are looking forward to having videos. And for those of you who did not attend any of those tours, the field trips, they were just awesome because you went to the landfill, you saw that. They actually are using some of the methane to heat. Is it methane or what is it that they're using to heat the building? It's pretty impressive. So to actually, I think it's electricity for that building. Anyway, it's great. It's really valuable, and you see all the things that go in the composting bins that should not go in the composting bins, and things that you could see that is food waste that could have been valuable food that could have gone to somewhere for people's soup kitchens. I don't know. But I mean, you'd see forks in there that are, metal. You see all kinds of things. So please keep in mind, what needs to go in those and what doesn't. And we'll look for PSAs on all these topics, which I think would be valuable for us. And like you, Trupti, Gertie, I go out there and I put a note on somebody's bin if they don't put the right thing in the recycling, and I sort through it and I'm like, drives me crazy. Okay, Well, thank you so much. And it's been wonderful conversation, wonderful topics. And I think we really appreciate it. And thank you for the committee for bringing you all here. I think we really appreciate that. Back to our topic of elections. We do have another opening for delegate at large. And so if there is any nominations from the floor or for any of the other positions, you know, I'm just opening it back up because you've had the opportunity to think about it. And Drew, please go ahead and unmute. Drew, we can't hear you. I was muted too, but Drew, we can't hear you.
Sorry, everybody. Hi, this is Drew Dutcher. I'm a delegate from the Illyrian Swansea Neighborhood Association, and I've been on the Inc. board as a delegate at large for a number of years, and I'm currently the vice president. And I know we need great leaders at Inc. And so I would like to nominate Adrian Brown from the Baker neighborhood to be delegate at large. Adrian has been a strong supporter of a very sustainable city. I think he believes in fairness for everybody. He's also a very capable engineer with great insight into many of the issues that we face. Including stormwater. That's kind of his expertise, but he's been valuable on many other things. And I think Inc. would benefit greatly from his participation. So I would like to nominate Adrian Brown for to be delegate at large. I think we need thanks, Loretta. I don't know if you need a second or something.
I would accept a second. So first of all, I want to ask Adrian. Adrian, are you willing to accept the nomination? I wanted to go there first.
Yes, I would be willing, with a little reluctance, because I know it's a good deal of time, but I already spend a bit of time doing this sort of stuff, and I'm at least allegedly supposed to be becoming retired soon.
This is Trupti. I'll second Adrian's nomination.
Okay, thanks. And I think the question from the chat was, have you asked his wife?
Let's not go there.
I did not, Lucia. Sorry. I thought you two talked to each other.
It's so relevant because I've been trying to get my partner off the zoning committee as being the chair for our neighborhood for the last 10 years, and he's still on it. So anyway, I have another. So Adrian Brown has accepted the nomination, and so we will put him on the vote on next month. And again, I'm going to tell everybody, please update your membership, your RNO membership with INC. You need to be, updated to be able to vote in the election, and you need to be a delegate from your RNO. And I think there was another hand up. Did I just lose someone who had their hand up?
Nick Campion had his hand up.
Nick, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. And I was going to nominate myself, but you mentioned you have to be a delegate of your RNO, so I think I'm not eligible at the moment. But I was interested in nominating myself.
You have time.
You have time, and we would love you to be a delegate if you would like to. That would be great.
Hey, Nick, this is Trupti. Feel free to, okay, you're Nixon Baker. Sorry, you guys already have the RNO there.
We have everybody.
Okay.
Baker's very active. We're going to say that. Next person is June. Would you like to unmute?
This is a quick general question. I found out what RNOs were on Wednesday. I attended the meeting on Thursday, and I got sent here as a delegate today. I have no idea how anything works, so I wanted to ask, what are the official processes I need to go through to make sure I get officially put down as a delegate, so make sure I'm doing all this right and can properly represent university.
This is a great question. And Trupti, do you want to answer that? And reaching out to Trupti is important.
So just so I'm clear, I think it sounds like, number one, is your RNO already a member with Inc.? If not, then an application has to be put in and payment has to be made. And then in the application, they designate two delegates, and you'd have to be one of them. I put the membership at Denver Inc. Email on there. Feel free to reach out to me directly, and I can work on it pretty quickly for you.
All right. From what I recall at the meeting on Thursday, we did just renew membership of the RNO.
Okay.
I believe that's what happened. So
And-
yeah,
and-
I can reach out to you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Anyone else want to nominate someone or personally would like to be a member of INC board? All right, we do have, Christine, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on a phone, so can you hear me? I would just like to ask you, Loretta, and everybody else who's running, if you have the time to commit, because the last discussion I heard is that you were thinking with working 80 hours a week, that was really too much for you to do. And I think we need to make sure we all understand how much time it really takes to run the organization and participate on the board. Thank you.
Well, thanks for that. I think, having a new slate and a new active group of members for our board, I think will help assist. We come up with the topics for meetings. I'm looking at email and responding to questions and comments. As INC, we receive, and maybe you all don't know this, we receive notification as an umbrella organization. We receive notification from people across the city who are putting an ADU in their back, or they're replacing a fence, or they're doing a curb cut or something like that. We do not respond to those directly, and I refer them back to the local RNO. So that takes me some time. But also, I think if we have an active group, or if all of you want to participate and give us topics for an upcoming meeting, you say, we have this issue. I heard two issues that came up in the discussions today that I thought were really interesting. One was, working with Denver Housing Authority and what are their upcoming plans? Does that impact neighborhoods? Do they provide, services that we talked about today for residents, of their community? So, the trash, the recycling, the compost, do they have those types of things? So, that was something that came up. And there was also a comment about Denver Human Services and trash pickup. I don't know if that's something, but we always accept topics from any of you coming up. That's kind of a big thing. Also our budgets, also other things. So I think it's, and I see a new topic that just came up in the chat. Thanks, Alani. So I think that we're always looking at things, and we're always looking at topics that are kind of pressing. If we know something, I think we had a topic this last year regarding, Candy Tabaka had a topic about, changing at-large council seats. It didn't end up going through, but we had a topic on that at INC. So there's a variety of topics, I think, that it impacts people all over the entire city and RNOs across the city. So I'm looking forward to working on that. Additionally, we're still working on DEI issues, throughout INC and updating that. So I've been committed, I've been working on that. And, some of it you all don't know in the background, but we've been working on that. part of that came into play with our bylaws, and we had a great bylaws committee that put that into place. So I'm looking at this year having an active board that I can delegate some more to. So, oh yes, and again, thank you to our interpreters today if they're still here. But I think that with that, with a new transition, I think I'll be able to delegate more, and I'll be able to work more with everyone and committed to move forward on everything. Now, that question may go out to other people on the board, but you let me know. Anybody else have any comments today or anything else? We will have elections next month. So, and again, today's the day to put forth any nominees, but we can move forward today with the nominees that we have. Please look forward to that, and we will have a meeting.
Hey, Loretta, I'm sorry to
Yes.
interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt, Loretta, but Emmett Hobley has a question in the chat, and maybe Emmett should ask it himself. I'm not sure totally what he means. Can anyone become a delegate after this announcement?
You're muted, Emmett.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. I think a lot of the community members didn't quite get the information correctly that they needed to have their registered neighborhood organizations registered by January 30th. So a lot of them missed the deadline. So I don't know how we're going to move forward with that one.
Can I speak to that?
Yes, please.
It's the city who states the 31st as being the last time to register. And then there'll be an opportunity for those groups that want to register as an RNO, I believe in June. So that's the answer. We don't determine that January 31st date. It's the city.
We will have elections next year because there are off elections. Vice president will be next year. Like I said earlier, treasurer will be next year. I don't know if there's anybody at large that will be. It's 2-year commitment.
There'll be three people that will be at large, or maybe it's 2 people that will be at large that'll be on the odd year.
On the odd year. Okay. All right. Are there any other questions? Do I have a motion to adjourn today?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we'll go ahead and adjourn for today. Thank you so much for your participation. I think at one point I saw we had 70 people. Thanks so much for joining us. It was great. And we will look forward to the answers to questions. Take care, everyone. Have a nice day and enjoy the Super Bowl and Valentine's Day. I guess that's coming up. Take care.
Have a good day.